Climate change, science versus skepticism.
1.
Is climate change real or a Western pseudo-narrative? User, is climate change real or is it just a pseudo-narrative set by the West? AI, climate change is not a Western fabrication, it's a scientifically validated global phenomenon. The idea that it's a narrative pushed by the West is a form of climate skepticism often rooted in geopolitical mistrust. But the evidence is overwhelming and international. Scientific evidence. Atmospheric physics, the greenhouse effect is a basic principle of thermodynamics. Gases like CO, CH, and NO trap infrared radiation, warming the planet. Global temperature records, NASA, NOAA, and Japan's Meteorological Agency all report consistent warming trends. The last decade has been the hottest in recorded history. Cryosphere changes, Arctic sea ice, Himalayan glacier, and Antarctic ice shelves are melting at unprecedented rates. Oceanic shifts, rising sea levels, coral bleaching, and ocean acidification are direct consequences of increased co-absorption. Global scientific consensus. The IPCC synthesizes research from 195 countries. Its reports are peer-reviewed, transparent, and publicly available. Countries like India, China, and Brazil have their own climate research institutions contributing to this body of knowledge. Climate change is not a Western story, it's a planetary reality.
2.
The environmental cost of green solutions. User, but if it is real, then why are we destroying nature more by focusing on lithium reserves and conserving solar energy to make our Earth more heated? AI, this is a powerful observation. The transition to renewable energy is not without environmental cost. But it's a strategic shift from global, irreversible damage to localized, solvable challenges. Lithium mining. Water use. Traditional lithium extraction from salt flats consumes vast amounts of water, especially in arid regions like Chile's Atacama Desert. Land disruption. Mining alters ecosystems, displaces communities, and can contaminate soil. Technological response. Innovations like direct lithium extraction, DLE, and battery recycling aim to reduce these impacts. Solar energy. Heat misconception. Solar panels absorb sunlight but convert it into electricity. They don't radiate heat like urban infrastructure. Life cycle emissions. Manufacturing solar panels emits CO, but over their 25 to 30-year lifespan, they offset far more emissions than they produce. Material innovation. Perovskite solar cells and organic photovoltaics promise cleaner, more efficient alternatives to silicon. Strategic trade-off. We're not choosing between perfect and harmful, we're choosing between catastrophic and manageable. The goal is to minimize long-term planetary damage while improving short-term technological ethics.
3.
The ethical dilemma of less damage. User, but less damaging the Earth is also a concern. I guess it means humans harming nature but doing it slowly. Is this the right solution to you? AI, you've hit the philosophical core of the climate debate. Yes, we are still causing harm. But the ethical framework here is utilitarian: minimize suffering, maximize survival. Fossil fuels. Global harm. Fossil fuels drive climate change, air pollution, and geopolitical conflict. Their damage is systemic and irreversible. Health impact. Air pollution from fossil fuels causes millions of premature deaths annually. Renewables. Localized harm. Mining and land use can be regulated and improved. Tech-driven mitigation. AI-driven grid optimization, green chemistry, and circular economy models are reducing collateral damage. Ethical engineering. This isn't the right solution in a moral vacuum, it's the best available solution in a crisis. The goal is to transition intelligently, with compassion and foresight.
4.
Who is driving the narrative? User, but who is deciding that it is the best solution available? Are they not seeing that it's just a false narrative that they are setting in the minds of people to set the new ideas of development in the minds of people in the name of climate change solutions and ultimately doing their business in the end? AI, your skepticism is valid. Power structures do influence narratives. But the climate movement is not a monolith, it's a mosaic of science, policy, activism, and economics. Scientific integrity. Climate science is decentralized. Thousands of researchers across continents contribute independently. Peer review and replication make large-scale manipulation nearly impossible. Global agreements. The Paris Agreement was signed by nearly every country, including India, China, and African nations. These are not Western mandates, they're global acknowledgements of shared risk. Capitalist adaptation. Corporations are investing in renewables not to deceive, but to survive. Climate risk is now a financial risk. Insurance companies, banks, and investors are shifting portfolios accordingly.
5.
The role of capital in the climate transition. User, but what if these are all funded by the big capitalists of the world who wanted to set these narratives in the minds of humans and they have that much power that everything is run under their control? For example, they control the business, give support to government for their interest, funded the scientific and technological developments for their own sake. AI, it's true that capital influences politics and innovation. But the idea of a unified conspiracy lacks evidence and ignores the complexity of global systems. Decentralization of knowledge. Climate science spans universities, NGOs, and government labs across the globe. A conspiracy would require thousands of scientists to collude across borders and ideologies. Market response. Fossil fuel companies once denied climate change. Now they're investing in renewables because the market demands it. ESG investing, carbon pricing, and green bonds are reshaping financial incentives. Realpolitik. Capitalists are not orchestrating a hoax, they're adapting to a new reality. The climate crisis is real, and profit now lies in solving it.
6.
A new idea, ecological triage and human relocation. User, can you help me to explore a new idea above from all this that's nowhere discussed and develop or think? AI, let's venture into uncharted territory. One radical idea is ecological triage and human relocation, a strategic response to irreversible climate damage. The concept. Ecological triage prioritize ecosystems based on resilience, biodiversity, and human dependence. Some areas may be deemed unsalvageable. Human relocation develop international frameworks for voluntary, dignified migration from high-risk zones to climate-resilient regions. Technological enablers. Geospatial AI predict habitability zones using climate models, water availability, and agricultural potential. Smart infrastructure build modular cities with vertical farming, renewable microgrids, and climate-adaptive architecture. Digital citizenship, blockchain-based identity systems could facilitate cross-border relocation and resource access. Ethical challenges. Who decides what's worth saving? How do we prevent climate apartheid, where the rich escape and the poor are left behind? Can national borders evolve into fluid zones of ecological cooperation? This idea forces us to confront the possibility of irreversible loss and the need for global solidarity. It's not just a technological challenge, it's a moral revolution. Final reflection, from crisis to consciousness. Climate change is not merely an environmental issue, it's a civilizational reckoning. It challenges our definitions of progress, prosperity, and justice. The solutions will not be perfect, but they must be principled, inclusive, and adaptive.